Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a different type of review. I'm looking at the 5 new investigator decks that just came out for Arkham Horror, the card game, and disclaimer that I was sent review copies of these. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So yes, we have 5 new standalone investigator decks, kind of like the ones that Fantasy Flight had quite a while back for Season 1 or Chapter 1, whatever the new and old Arkham stuff are being called. These contain a full 30-card investigator deck with some new cards and some repeat cards, although more new than old from what I saw. And they also include a bunch of experience cards for the investigators, so that basically this is a one-stop shop. If you want to play this and a scenario or campaign, you can just use these characters and be good to go. I'm going to do a brief conversation through each of them. I'm not going to show every single card. You already have online databases with that information. But I'll talk through some of the things that stand out for good and bad, and at the end, I'll give my review for which ones I like and what I think about these for veterans and for newcomers to the series. So let's start with a new version of Tommy Muldoon. He's got pretty good stats, especially focused on combat, and his ability is that he can play weapons with more ammo on them. So he just pumps out guns and shoots a ton with them. Now, he only starts out with 5 guns in his deck. I could probably go for 1 more or 2. He does have Becky again, a slightly different version from the original Tommy Muldoon deck. He's got the basic M1911 that's been there since I think the original core, and he's got a nice service revolver which gives you a reaction shot back when somebody attacks you instead of you attacking them first. Kind of like, what is it, the survival knife from the old sets? But still, when his whole power is focused on playing weapons with more ammo, only having 5 maybe means it's not as consistent as I'd like. Though he does have this protective vest card which can take damage and also lets him tutor down into his deck a little bit to look for a firearm. Now, in his XP cards, he does have a Thompson submachine gun for 5 experience and 6 resource cost. If you ever get that far, that's the only option you can add to give him more firearms in his deck. Besides that, he's got some solid stuff. He's got this police dog that can give +1 to an investigation or an attack once per turn. Rookie cop who dies and gives you a clue. He's got some other ways to get clues, like make him sing. And as you might imagine, he's got some upgrades for his gun, a custom grip that lets him play another one more quickly, which goes well with his ability. Iron Sights, which lets him spend an action to get +3 to his next skill attack. I'm not sure if I like that one very much. And then for 1 XP in his deck, he can play this 1 cost fast, and it lets him give +1 skill value to a firearm when he's attacking with it. That one's super good. But yeah, he's a pretty basic survivor character, just focused on weapons instead of other ways of attacking. Nothing too spectacular here, but also pretty solid. Next, we'll look at the new version of Carolyn Fern, our Seeker. Great stats. Love when they have 5 in intelligence. And then she's got a solid agility and willpower as well. Strength is her dump stat, but pair her with somebody like Tommy and she'll be fine. And her power, much better than the old Carolyn, is to get a clue at her location every time she heals horror from somebody, which is pretty crazy. Now, the biggest problem with that in her entire deck, and in fact in all 5 of these decks, is that nobody has, that I saw, a single card that lets them take horror for an effect. Which would be awesome because then, since she has tons of ways to heal horror, as you can imagine, she could hoover up clues really effectively. Now, she does have some XP cards that cost her horror, which would then let her heal herself, but they all cost 5 experience, yikes, and most of them are scrolls you have to upgrade from this basic scroll of the Pharaoh cards, one of those researched ones they've done in the past. But it's not like the game is shy about giving you horror in general, so she's still fine. And I will say she combos super well with Isabella from the new core set, because she has the ability to take a horror to get a skill card back from her discard pile, and then Carolyn can heal that horror away and pick up a clue for free. Heck yeah. And whoops, I lied. She does have an expensive item that lets her get 2 clues from a location with 1 investigate action. So that could get her 3 clues altogether. Pretty amazing. But besides that, pretty standard stuff. She has some horror healing abilities. She has a new ally that lets you hold an extra tome. Pretty cool. And then she has event cards that let her fight and evade with intelligence. Those are always nice, especially when she has 5. So solid character. And if you can pair her with somebody who uses horror more frequently, then she's going to be amazing. Next is Miguel De La Cruz. This is the new survivor, and he's kind of goofy. That seems to be what they always do with survivor characters. His stats are fine. You know, he's not good at investigating. He's not really good at fighting. He can evade decently well. His special ability is pretty cool. It says he gets a 4th action every turn just to play events, which is going to be great for deck construction, but kind of oddly, he has 12 event cards in his starting deck, and 6 of them are fast, meaning that he doesn't need them for his special ability. So he only has 6 cards in his starting deck that can actually benefit from it, and not that many more from experience. So this is one that I don't think is too great out of the box. I think you do want to do some deck construction here. But besides that, his key thing is kind of weird to me. He's got a lot of traps where he can like lay things down to evade enemies automatically, or even like a bomb in his experience cards to hurt them afterwards. And sometimes they let him like teleport to where the enemy is. So I guess he's supposed to be leaving traps just as he goes around, or evading the monster, running away, and then like leaving a trap for when they follow him. Maybe. It's very much an odd character. Maybe I'm just missing the synergies here. But they seem to want him to fight enemies. He's got this hunting dog that moves him toward enemies when they appear on the board. Again, he's got traps that teleport him there. But the only weapon he's got in his deck is a pocket knife that doesn't deal extra damage, and he's only got 3 strength. So he's just kind of a weird guy. I don't really know what his deal is. I guess in a multiplayer game with a bunch of characters, he could lay down traps to help everybody. But besides that, I find him kind of the oddball of the bunch. Next is our Mystic, Marie Lambeau. Great stats. Again, I love when strength is a dump stat, especially here when she can use her willpower to attack instead with spells. Her ability is interesting. She is a damage-focused mystic. She wants to take damage. A ton of her cards make her take damage. And when she does, she can get more card draw to use more events and take even more damage. So yeah, like her special, her unique card lets her take damage, put more charges on spells. She's got an offering bowl that lets her take damage to get resources. She's got the sacrificial doll that lets her take damage to redraw from the chaos bag. But don't worry, she does have several cards that let her heal, including a cool one that attacks and heals. So she's not just going to take herself out with all of that. She's also got, as is pretty standard, 3 spells that let her use her willpower in place of other tests. And they all let you use a charge to do something extra, like getting an extra clue, dealing extra damage. But if you draw the wrong kind of token from the chaos bag, it does something negative to you. So pretty solid, pretty basic stuff. And honestly, that's how I would describe Marie, even with her damage ability. She's a pretty basic mystic. She gets the job done. Nothing special, but still a solid entry in the series. And last, we've got the rogue, Patel. He's got, again, pretty good stats. Well, I don't know. The 5 agility is great, obviously, for evasion. Then he's got a little bit of intelligence. His ability, though, is great. After he succeeds at a skill test by 2 or more during his turn, he can take an extra action that turn. And he has a lot of things that boost his skill test, as you can imagine. So he's pretty much going to be getting 4 actions almost every turn. His 3 unique cards are pretty cool, at least visually, because they're all in black and white, because he's supposed to be a silent film actor. But yeah, they give him 1 wild or 3 wild for a specific type of test. So again, helping him get that 2 over for an extra action on his turns. But those are his only unique bonus cards, so he doesn't have any cool assets or anything. He's got a few other assets for getting bonuses to tests, for getting resources. They seem a little expensive for me. But he has a favorite of mine, lockpicks, a great way to investigate better. Once he gets these out, he's investigating with 5. And he has a lot of ways to, again, boost his tests, so he's probably not going to discard them. And he does have the classic better lockpicks for 1 experience later. But the rest of his deck is just really solid. He's got this guy that lets him get 2 resources every turn. He's got a cane that lets him attack consistently with his agility. And after he does the damage, he automatically evades them. Great action economy there. And then he's got some ways to auto-discover clues, and even more ways to auto-discover clues. So he's just going to get tons of actions, evade lots of people, get clues pretty easily with his lockpicks. Very, very solid character, although again, not as unique as some other ones in the past. So that's a brief look at all 5 of these new character decks, and what do I think of them overall? If you are a veteran of the series, I don't see any need to have these, honestly. If you're like me and already have a billion characters. Some of them are pretty cool. Like, I think Carolyn is a much better version than her previous one, which had a much weaker ability. But, I don't know. I feel like I have characters that do almost the same things as all of these characters in my options. So they're fine. But yeah, for a veteran of the series, a collector, unless you just always buy everything blindly, I don't think these are going to excite you too much. Now, for a newcomer, somebody who just bought the new core set, I think these are nice because having more investigators increases your options quite a bit, and these people are doing different stuff than what the investigators in the base game did. But some of them definitely stand out more to me than others. Carolyn, I think, is a ton of fun, and again, will combo really well with Isabella. Patel, I think, has great options and just has a ton of actions, lots of cool powers. So those are probably my top 2 from this set. Tommy and Marie are fine. They don't feel like they're doing anything too unique, but it's a solid fighter and a solid all-rounder as a mystic. And then definitely the oddball that I can't really recommend unless I'm just totally missing some cool things. Miguel seems actively weak with his deck, and if you're a newcomer, you don't have that many deck building options to make him stronger. So yeah, I think he is eminently skippable whether you're a newcomer or a veteran. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope that was helpful for some of you. And a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Steve Wren, KCW, Andrew R., and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.